Have you ever felt lost, worn out, or simply overwhelmed by life's challenges? Do you wonder if God still has a plan for you, or if your prayers are just bouncing off the ceiling? In this video, we're diving deep into the profound truth that God is always working behind the scenes, preparing something far greater than we can imagine. From unexpected blessings to divine interventions, God's surprises come when we least expect them, transforming our struggles into miracles. Join us as we explore powerful stories of faith, hope, and the extraordinary ways God reveals His grace in our lives. This message is not just about finding temporary relief from life's hardships. It's about discovering the profound joy and purpose that only God can provide. Stay with us until the end to find out how God's surprises can change your life in ways you never dreamed possible. You won't want to miss what's coming next, why you should watch. If you've ever questioned God's plan for you, if you need hope, or if you're longing for a breakthrough, this video is for you. We're about to reveal how God's surprises are worth every tear, every setback, and every moment of waiting. Watch this video to unlock the powerful truth that could lead you to your miracle. Before we start, I'd appreciate your support. If you like the video, please subscribe and hit the bell to stay updated on future lessons from God. My beloved friends, as you navigate the unpredictable and often tumultuous landscape of life, I want you to take a moment to pause and truly reflect on your journey. Perhaps you are feeling weary, a bit adrift, or simply exhausted from the relentless grind of daily existence. Life can be overwhelming, filled with challenges that seem insurmountable, and you may find yourself grappling with profound questions. You might be wondering when change will finally grace your path, when that long-awaited breakthrough will illuminate your weary spirit, casting aside the shadows of uncertainty. But hear me when I say this, straight from the depths of my heart and soul. God is poised to surprise you in ways that surpass your wildest dreams, igniting a spark of hope within the very core of your being. Just as it beautifully proclaims in Jeremiah 29 verse 11, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." These words are not merely ink on a page. They are a heartfelt promise from the Creator of the universe, a declaration that resonates with the essence of divine love and infinite possibilities. I understand how easy it is to become ensnared in the monotony of routine, where each day blends into the next, and the weight of your dreams feels heavier with each passing moment. It's so common to feel as if your cherished aspirations are slipping further away like sand through your fingers, or that your heartfelt prayers are echoing in silence, seemingly unheard and unanswered. In those moments of doubt, it is vital to remember that God is tirelessly working behind the scenes, crafting a divine orchestration of events and blessings that you cannot yet fathom. He is weaving a breathtaking masterpiece uniquely tailored just for you, one that will leave you utterly speechless in its magnificence. Consider, for a moment, the awe-inspiring stories woven throughout history, stories that exemplify the miraculous ways God has intervened in the lives of ordinary people. He took a humble shepherd boy named David, whose heart was filled with courage and faith, and elevated him to the throne as King of Israel, forever changing the course of a nation. He transformed a fierce persecutor of Christians named Saul into the Apostle Paul, who with unwavering zeal spread the gospel far and wide, touching countless lives and igniting a fire of faith that continues to burn brightly to this very day. He gathered a motley crew of fishermen, simple and unassuming men, and molded them into the bedrock of his church, laying the foundation for generations to come. And let me remind you, he is far from finished. God is still fervently at work in our world today, taking ordinary individuals like you and me and transforming them into vessels of his remarkable power. He is in the glorious business of taking the broken pieces of our lives and weaving them into a beautiful tapestry of purpose and meaning. He delights in turning your chaotic mess into a powerful message, your arduous tests into life-altering testimonies, and your challenging trials into resounding triumphs that will inspire others. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, as we find solace in the comforting words of Psalm 40 verses 1 to 3, which declares, "I waited patiently for the Lord. He turned to me and heard my cry. He lifted me out of the slimy pit, out of the mud and mire. He set my feet on a rock and gave me a firm place to stand. He put a new song in my mouth, a hymn of praise to our God. Many will see and fear the Lord and put their trust in him." This passage serves as a poignant reminder of God's unwavering faithfulness and the transformative power of his love. So, my cherished friends, I implore you, do not lose heart. Do not allow despair to cloud your vision or rob you of hope. For just when you least expect it, God will manifest his presence and move powerfully in your lives. He will open doors that you never even knew existed, revealing opportunities that will take your breath away. He will provide in ways that will astound you beyond your imagination, filling your life with blessings that overflow like a river. He will lead you to destinations you never dreamed you could reach, guiding you with a gentle hand through the twists and turns of your journey. You see, our God specializes in the unexpected. He delights in transforming the impossible into the possible. He finds joy in taking what is broken and restoring it to wholeness, in guiding the lost back home, and in breathing life into the dormant dreams of your heart. Every setback you experience is not the end of your story, but rather a stepping stone toward your greatest triumphs. Every moment of doubt is an opportunity for your faith to grow deeper, richer, and more resilient. As you move forward, embrace this truth with all your heart. God's timing is perfect, and his plans for you are filled with hope, promise, and endless possibilities. Trust in his divine purpose, and remember that he is always working in your favor, even when the path ahead seems unclear. Allow the light of his love to shine brightly within you, illuminating your way through the darkest nights and leading you to the dawn of new beginnings. Prepare for the miraculous, for God is ready to unleash his blessings in your life in ways you cannot yet comprehend. So stand firm in your faith, dear friends. Hold on to hope with unwavering determination, for the best is yet to come. Embrace the journey ahead and know that you are never alone. God walks beside you, guiding you every step of the way, preparing you for the extraordinary things he has in store. Keep your heart open, for the surprises of God are just around the corner, waiting to unfold in your life, bringing joy, peace, and unshakable faith to your weary soul. Embrace this divine journey and watch as your life transforms in ways you never thought possible. And let me share this profound truth with you, my dear friends. You have not been forgotten. You have not been overlooked, nor have you been abandoned in your moments of despair. You are deeply loved, immeasurably valued, and chosen by the Creator of the universe, the one who formed the stars and knows you by name. In the comforting words of Deuteronomy 31 verse 6, it is declared, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them, for the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you." Embrace these words and let them resonate in your heart. They are a powerful reminder of his unwavering presence in your life. So hold on tight and keep the faith, for your victory is not just a distant dream. It is coming. Your miracle is on its way, inching closer with each passing day. Your season of abundance is right around the corner, filled with opportunities, joy, and blessings beyond your imagination. And when it happens, when God surprises you with his unending goodness and boundless grace, do not forget to lift your heart in gratitude and give him all the glory, honor, and praise, for he is truly worthy of it all. Reflecting on these profound concepts, Lewis once said that in the end, there are two kinds of people: those who humbly say to God, "Thy will be done," and those to whom God says, "Then thy will be done." It serves as a sobering reminder that all those who find themselves in hell made that choice themselves. Without the weight of that self-choice, there could be no hell. Yet, even amid darkness, despair, and weariness, God remains ever present, ready to surprise and redeem anyone who turns to him, regardless of how late they arrive at the doorstep of grace. This poignant truth is beautifully captured in Lewis's masterpiece, The Great Divorce. Now, let us delve even deeper into this powerful truth. When we speak of how God will surprise you, it is not merely about positive thinking or empty promises whispered on the winds of hope. It is about tapping into the profound reality that God is ceaselessly working behind the scenes, meticulously orchestrating the intricate details of your life in ways that you cannot even begin to comprehend. Take a moment to reflect on your past. Think about those pivotal times in your life when you were caught off guard by a sudden blessing, an unexpected provision, or a door that flung wide open when all others seemed firmly shut. Those moments were not mere coincidences or random occurrences. They were divine interventions crafted by a loving God who delights in surprising his children. But here's the crux of the matter. Surprises often arrive when you least expect them. They do not always fit neatly into the plans you have meticulously laid out for your life, or follow the timeline you have so carefully set. This is because God's ways are infinitely higher than our ways, and his timing is always impeccably perfect. As Ephesians 3 verse 20 beautifully states, "Now to him who can do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to his power that is at work within us." This is the essence of the divine nature. God is not bound by our limited understanding or our constrained expectations. He is capable of so much more, capable of crafting a reality that transcends our wildest dreams. When you find yourself feeling lost or overwhelmed, remind yourself that God is weaving a tapestry of grace, using every thread of your life, both the vibrant colors of joy and the dark shades of sorrow, to create something magnificent. Even when you cannot see the pattern or feel the weight of his presence, he is working, transforming every tear into a pearl of wisdom and every struggle into a source of strength. So, lean into this truth with unwavering faith. Allow your heart to be filled with hope, for your life is a canvas upon which the master artist is painting a beautiful story. Trust that your surprises are on their way, and prepare your heart to receive the blessings that God has meticulously designed for you. Embrace the unexpected, and be ready to witness the unfolding of his promises in your life. For with God, the best is always yet to come. So if you find yourself feeling discouraged or disillusioned because life has not unfolded as you had hoped or meticulously planned, I urge you to take heart. Know this: God is still at work in your life, even amidst the chaos, mess, and uncertainty that life can sometimes bring. He has not forgotten you, nor has he abandoned his divine plans for your future. It is often within the waiting, during those seasons of uncertainty and doubt, that God performs some of his most profound and transformative work. As C.S.Lewis wisely noted, You cannot try to hold on to happiness. Happiness is a byproduct of something greater, and God surprises us with this happiness when we least expect it. When we shift our focus from seeking happiness within ourselves to seeking it in Christ, we discover a joy that transcends all understanding. A joy that is not dependent on our circumstances, but rooted in the eternal goodness of God. In Surprised by Joy, Lewis eloquently captures this truth, emphasizing that God delights in transforming our pain and weariness into profound sources of joy and renewal. It is in these sacred moments, when our faith is rigorously tested and stretched, that we learn to rely more fully on Him and His promises. Let me tell you, my friends, when you cultivate a heart that trusts in God's timing and His unwavering faithfulness, that is precisely when true miracles begin to manifest in your life. So I implore you, do not lose hope. Do not waver in your belief that God has something magnificent in store for you. Keep praying fervently, keep seeking Him earnestly, and keep trusting that He who has promised is faithful to fulfill every word spoken over your life. When that moment of divine surprise finally arrives, when God reveals Himself in ways you never could have imagined, do not hesitate to embrace it with open arms. Receive His blessings with a heart full of gratitude and humility, recognizing that they are precious gifts from a loving Father who delights in showering good things upon His children. In the words of John 10, verse 10, "The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I have come that they may have life and have it to the full." Hold on to this promise, my friends. Remember that God's surprises are worth the wait. They are worth the struggles and the sacrifices. They are worth the tears shed, the doubts that linger, and the fears that threaten to consume you. In the end, when you look back on your journey, every twist and turn, every delay and setback, you will come to realize that each moment was not a hindrance but a vital part of God's perfect plan. Every experience, whether joyful or painful, has been instrumental in leading you to the place He always intended for you to be, a place filled with purpose, abundance, and divine fulfillment. As you stand at the crossroads of your journey, with faith as your compass and hope as your guiding star, know that God is weaving a beautiful story that is uniquely yours. He is crafting a future that reflects His glory and goodness, and soon, you will see the tapestry of your life come together in ways that will leave you in awe. Embrace the waiting. Embrace the uncertainty. For through it all, you are being shaped into a masterpiece of His grace, ready to embrace the incredible surprises that await you just around the corner. C.S. Lewis profoundly states, "If we admit God, we must admit miracles." Indeed, a God who did not perform miracles would be a non-intervening deity, far removed from the intricacies of human existence. Yet it is precisely this divine intervention, this remarkable phenomenon that miracles represent, that constitutes an integral part of the Christian experience. So, my dear friends, do not be taken aback when a miracle occurs out of nowhere. For if you are walking steadfastly on His path, you can be sure that a miracle is being prepared for your life, just around the corner. Let us delve even deeper into this profound truth, because the essence of God's surprises extends far beyond mere immediate blessings. It encompasses the transformative power they bring to your very life. When God surprises you, it is not solely about external circumstances shifting in your favor. It is about the deep internal transformation that takes place within you. It involves the growth, maturity, and deepening of your faith that occur as you navigate the myriad highs and lows of life. In 2 Corinthians 4 verses 17 to 18, we are reminded, "For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. So we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen, since what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. You see, God's surprises are often accompanied by a profound sense of His divine presence, a certainty that He is walking beside you every step of the way, guiding you, strengthening you, and equipping you for the journey that lies ahead. Consider the story of Joseph in the Bible, a narrative rich with emotional depth and powerful lessons. Here was a young man who faced more than his fair share of trials and tribulations. He was a beloved son sold into slavery by his brothers, falsely accused of crimes he did not commit, and ultimately thrown into a dark and lonely prison. Yet, through every heart-wrenching twist and turn, God was with him, orchestrating events behind the scenes and preparing him for the incredible role he would play in saving his family and preserving an entire nation. When the moment of divine surprise finally arrived, when Joseph was elevated to a position of power and influence, second only to Pharaoh himself, it was not merely about the external blessings of wealth and status. It was about the profound internal transformation that had taken place within Joseph. This transformation enabled him to extend grace and forgiveness to his brothers, reconcile with his family, and fulfill the divine purpose for which God had called him. His journey is a testament to the powerful ways in which God prepares and shapes us, often through the very trials that seem insurmountable. Lewis further articulates the complexity of suffering when he writes, "The fact that what we call human suffering originates in our own mistakes and the mistakes of others is a fact that only aggravates our situation. But if suffering is a state of war against God's purpose, this state cannot be definitive. If God is good, He cannot allow such a state of affairs. He whispers in our pleasures, speaks in our conscience, but shouts in our pains. It is His megaphone to rouse a deaf world." This insightful observation reminds us that pain, though excruciating, serves a purpose beyond our immediate comprehension. It beckons us to seek a deeper understanding of God's love and the divine plans He has for us. Indeed, pain is a terrible thing, yet, amid our suffering, we discover a sincere goodness that is willing to risk inflicting pain for the greater good, not just for ourselves, but for the benefit of others. This is the essence of God's goodness. It calls us to embrace our hardships, to use our experiences of suffering to cultivate compassion and empathy for those around us. In this way, God transforms our pain into a powerful tool for healing and connection, allowing us to share in the collective journey of humanity. As we embrace these truths, let us remember that each miracle, each surprise from God, is not simply a change in our circumstances, but a pathway to deeper faith and transformation. Keep your heart open, dear friends, and remain steadfast in your trust in His divine timing. As you navigate the challenges and uncertainties of life, know that God is ever present, shaping you into the person He has destined you to be. In the beautiful tapestry of your life, every thread, both joy and sorrow, contributes to the extraordinary masterpiece that reflects His glory and grace. Trust in the process, and prepare for the miraculous surprises that await you, for God is truly at work, even in the midst of your pain and struggle. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 2 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. The same profound truth applies to each of us. When God surprises us, it is not merely about the external gifts He bestows upon us. It is fundamentally about the transformative work He accomplishes within us. It encompasses the deepening of our character, the strengthening of our faith, and the aligning of our hearts with His divine purposes. In 2 Corinthians 9 verse 8, we are assured, "And God can bless you abundantly, so that in all things at all times, having all that you need, you will abound in every good work. This promise serves as a powerful reminder that even in our most challenging seasons, God is actively at work, weaving blessings into our lives in ways we may not yet comprehend. Therefore, if you find yourself in a season of waiting, uncertainty, or difficulty, take heart. God is at work in your life, even when you cannot see or feel His presence. He is preparing you for the extraordinary surprises He has in store, and when they finally arrive, they will exceed your wildest expectations, more than you could ever ask or imagine. But in the meantime, do not waste the waiting. Embrace this time as a precious opportunity for growth, learning, and drawing ever closer to the one who holds your future securely in His hands. Trust His timing, trust His goodness, and trust His faithfulness. For He who promised is faithful to fulfill every word spoken over your life. Lewis poignantly illustrates this process by saying, "Imagine yourself as a living house. God comes in to rebuild that house. At first, perhaps you can understand what He is doing. He is getting the drains right and stopping the leaks in the roof, and so on. You knew that those jobs needed doing, and so you are not surprised. But presently, He starts knocking the house about in a way that hurts abominably and does not seem to make any sense. What on earth is He up to? The explanation lies in the fact that He is constructing a far grander dwelling than you ever envisioned. He is throwing out a new wing here, adding an extra floor there, erecting towers, and creating beautiful courtyards. You thought you were merely being transformed into a quaint little cottage, but He is building a magnificent palace. He intends to come and dwell within it Himself. This powerful metaphor from his book, Mere Christianity, beautifully captures the essence of God's work in our lives. So, my dear friends, even when it appears that all hope is lost, and even when the odds seem insurmountable, we can rest assured that God is still at work behind the scenes, orchestrating His perfect plan for our lives. Take a moment to reflect on some of the greatest surprises you have experienced in your own life. Perhaps it was a job opportunity that emerged out of nowhere, a miraculous healing that defied medical explanations, or a relationship that blossomed unexpectedly and transformed your world. Whatever those moments were, I want you to know they were not mere accidents. They were divine appointments, carefully orchestrated by a loving and faithful God. If He has done it before, He can certainly do it again. So let us cultivate an unwavering faith that anticipates God's surprises, knowing that each twist and turn of our journey is a step toward the incredible future He has planned for us. Embrace the process of transformation, hold tight to hope, and remain open to the miraculous possibilities that lie ahead. For in every season, whether in waiting or amid trials, God is crafting something beautiful within you, preparing you for the glorious surprises that are just around the corner. If you are facing what feels like an insurmountable, impossible situation right now, one that causes your heart to ache, your mind to spiral with doubt, and your spirit to grow weary, I want to speak directly to your soul. Don't lose hope. In the darkest moments, when everything around you seems to be unraveling and you find yourself wondering how God could intervene, keep trusting, keep believing, even when the way forward is hidden from view. Stand firm on the promises of God, knowing with unwavering confidence that He who began a good work in you will not leave it unfinished. He is faithful, and His plans for you are greater than you could ever imagine. 1 Corinthians 2 verse 9 reminds us of the profound, unimaginable beauty of God's plans for those who love Him. What no eye has seen, what no ear has heard, and what no human mind has conceived, the things God has prepared for those who love Him. This scripture is a powerful reminder that our limited human understanding cannot begin to grasp the fullness of God's intentions for us. It calls us to release our grip on our preconceived notions of how life should unfold and open our hearts wide to the boundless possibilities of how God might move in ways we least expect. So often, we box God into our expectations, trying to dictate how and when He should act, but He doesn't work within the confines of our human limitations. His ways are higher, and His timing is perfect. Be open to His surprises, for they may arrive when you are least prepared, in moments when you feel most vulnerable, and in ways that defy your wildest dreams. But one thing is certain: when God surprises you, He does so in a way that will leave you awestruck, overwhelmed with joy, and deeply aware of His presence in your life. Let's take this truth deeper, because the idea of God's divine surprises holds so much more power than we often give it credit for. When we talk about how God will surprise you, it's not just about a fleeting moment of happiness or temporary relief from your struggles. No, it is so much more profound than that. God's surprises are life-altering, transformative experiences that change the very course of your destiny. They go beyond your present circumstances, lifting you out of the pit of despair and placing your feet on a path that leads to your highest purpose. These surprises are the moments where God's divine plan intersects with your life in ways that you could never have predicted or orchestrated on your own. They are moments of grace that surpass understanding, revealing the depth of God's love for you and His commitment to seeing His will fulfilled in your life. Consider the words of Habakkuk 1 verse 5. Look at the nations and watch. Be utterly amazed. For I am going to do something in your days that you would not believe, even if you were told. This verse captures the wonder of how God operates. Even amid our deepest confusion, fear, or doubt, God is at work, orchestrating something so magnificent that if He were to reveal it all to us at once, we would be utterly overwhelmed. He works in ways that are beyond our comprehension, often in the very moments when we feel most lost. When we're sitting in the ruins of our plans, feeling defeated, God is quietly preparing a victory that will astonish us. He is in the process of turning what seems like a hopeless situation into a testimony of His goodness and power. C.S.Lewis captures this idea beautifully in his book, Mere Christianity. Imagine ourselves as a grain of wheat. Good things and bad things happen to us, predictable things and unexpected things. But the things we consider bad are often the ones God uses to transform us. He molds and breaks us, not to destroy us, but to remake us in His image. This is a profound truth that we often miss when we're in the midst of our trials. The very things that we label as setbacks, disappointments, or failures are often the tools God uses to shape us into the people we were meant to be. He doesn't allow pain or difficulty into our lives without purpose. It is in the refining fire of hardship that God does some of His most transformative work. He takes the broken pieces of our lives, the shattered dreams, and painful losses, and uses them to create something far more beautiful than we could ever imagine. He molds us not to crush us, but to build us up, to make us stronger, more compassionate, more attuned to His voice. God's purpose for you is far greater than anything you can conceive. It is not limited by your circumstances, your past mistakes, or the obstacles you face. His plan transcends all of that. When we surrender control, when we stop trying to fix everything on our own and allow God to work, we find that His grace meets us in the most unexpected ways. His surprises are not just small blessings or temporary fixes. They are earth-shattering, life-altering events that can change the trajectory of your entire life. They are moments of divine intervention where God steps into your story and rewrites the chapters that you thought were already finished. He takes the messes we've made and turns them into masterpieces. His surprises are full of grace, love, and mercy, and they always lead us closer to Him. Now, let's take a moment to reflect on the true nature of these surprises. When God moves, it is not just about changing your circumstances. It's about transforming your heart. It's about opening your eyes to see the world through His perspective, to recognize that even while suffering, He is working for your good. God's surprises often come when we least expect them, when we're at our weakest, our most vulnerable. But those are the very moments when His power is made perfect. As 2 Corinthians 12 verse 9 reminds us, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." When we are willing to admit our need for God, to release control, and allow Him to work, we open the door for Him to do the miraculous in our lives. Imagine the freedom that comes from letting go of your need to control every outcome. When you release your expectations, you make room for God to exceed them. When you surrender your fears, you make space for His peace to fill your heart. And when you trust Him fully, even amid uncertainty, you invite His presence into every aspect of your life. God's surprises are not just about changing your external circumstances. They're about changing you from the inside out. They are about molding your character, strengthening your faith, and drawing you closer to Him. So, my dear friends, I encourage you today, don't limit God by your understanding. Don't box Him into your expectations of how things should go. Instead, open your heart wide to the possibility that He has something far greater in store for you. His surprises may come at the most unexpected times, but they will always be exactly what you need, exactly when you need them. Trust in His timing, trust in His goodness, and be ready to be amazed by what He will do in your life. God's surprises are not just fleeting moments of happiness. They are transformative encounters with His love and grace that change us forever. They are the turning points in our lives where we see His hand at work, guiding us, protecting us, and leading us into the fullness of His plans. So, keep your eyes open, your heart soft, and your faith strong. Because when God surprises you, it will be more than you could ever ask for or imagine. It will be the kind of surprise that leaves you in awe, filled with gratitude, and forever changed by His incredible love. Think for a moment about those times in your life when you were completely taken by surprise, caught off guard by a blessing that seemed to come out of nowhere, or an unexpected event that shifted everything in your favor. Maybe it was the offer of a job you had long since given up on, a healing that left doctors speechless, or a relationship that blossomed just when you had resigned yourself to being alone. In those miraculous moments, it becomes undeniably clear that God's hand is at work, intricately weaving together the details of our lives for His divine purpose. These moments are not mere coincidences, but evidence of a loving God who delights in surprising His children with unimaginable grace. And here's the beautiful truth. These surprises aren't reserved for a select few. They are available to every single one of us, no matter where we are or what our past looks like. The only thing God requires is a heart that is open and willing to receive the abundance of blessings He has in store. Jeremiah 29 verse 11 reminds us of this unfathomable truth. "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." This is a promise from the Creator of the universe, one that offers hope in our darkest hours and reassurance in our moments of uncertainty. No matter how chaotic or discouraging our present circumstances may seem, we can rest in the knowledge that God is always working on our behalf, preparing to unveil surprises that will leave us breathless with wonder. If you are feeling disheartened or uncertain about the future, let this verse serve as a beacon of hope. God is still in the business of surprising His people, and he takes great joy in revealing his goodness in ways that often catch us completely off guard. His timing is perfect, and his plans are always for our ultimate good, even when they don't align with our limited expectations. But here's where the challenge comes in. We must be willing to let go of our tightly held plans and expectations. We must surrender control and allow God to guide us, even when the path ahead seems unclear or doesn't make sense to us. This surrender is not an easy task. It requires humility, faith, and a deep trust in God's character. Yet, it is in this very act of letting go, of allowing God to be God, that his surprises can truly take root and flourish in our lives. When we stop clinging to our agendas and open our hands to receive what God has in store, we position ourselves to experience the fullness of his grace and the abundance of his blessings. As we continue on this journey of faith, expecting and believing in God's surprises, it's essential to understand that his plans often unfold in ways that completely defy our expectations. We live in a world that values instant gratification, quick fixes, and clear-cut answers, but God operates on a different timetable, one that is purposeful and intentional, yet often mysterious. We may desperately want immediate solutions to our problems or direct answers to our prayers, but God's timing is never rushed, and his methods are far more profound than we can comprehend. In these moments of waiting, when doubt and discouragement begin to creep in, we must anchor ourselves in the truth of God's unchanging character. Remember this: God's surprises are always rooted in his love, faithfulness, and infinite wisdom. Even when life feels overwhelming or when his plans seem hidden from view, we can trust that he is working all things together for our good. He knows the desires of our hearts, the secret hopes we dare not speak aloud, and the dreams we have quietly tucked away. And in his perfect timing, he will bring those desires to fruition in ways that far exceed anything we could have imagined. God's surprises are not just about answering our prayers. They are about drawing us closer to him, teaching us to trust his heart even when we can't see his hand at work. Think again about those moments when life took an unexpected turn for the better. Those divine, life-changing surprises. Were there not moments when you felt God's presence more intimately than ever before? When he moves in these ways, it's not just to meet our needs or fulfill our desires, but to deepen our relationship with him. His surprises are an invitation to trust him more fully, to lean into his goodness, and to rest in the knowledge that he is always working for our good. When we experience these moments of divine intervention, we are reminded of just how deeply God cares for us. He sees us, he knows us, and he is always moving in our lives, even when we can't yet see it. God's surprises are not limited by time, circumstance, or human understanding. They can happen at any moment in the most unexpected of ways. Sometimes they arrive in the form of a miracle, a sudden healing, an unforeseen opportunity, a restored relationship. Other times, they come quietly, like a gentle whisper amid a storm, offering peace and comfort when we need it most. No matter how they arrive, God's surprises are always perfectly timed and perfectly suited to our needs. They remind us that we are not alone, that God is always with us, and that his plans for us are far greater than anything we could ever imagine. So, my friends, I urge you today to keep your heart open to the possibility of divine surprises. Don't let the weight of your circumstances or the uncertainty of the future rob you of the joy that comes from trusting in God's plan. He is the author of miracles, the giver of good gifts, and the one who knows exactly what you need, even before you ask. Let go of the need to control, the fear of the unknown, and the pressure to have it all figured out. Instead, Lean into the mystery of God's timing, knowing that His surprises are coming. Perhaps when you least expect them, but always when you need them the most. God's surprises are not just temporary fixes or fleeting moments of happiness. They are profound, life-changing events that have the power to transform us from the inside out. They are designed to bring us closer to Him, to teach us to rely on His grace, and to remind us that we are deeply loved by a God who delights in blessing His children. So keep your faith strong, your hope alive, and your heart wide open. Because when God moves, when He surprises you, it will be in ways that will leave you in awe, forever changed by His incredible love and mercy. Moreover, it's important to remember that God's surprises are never confined by our circumstances or limited by our human shortcomings. When we feel like we've reached the end of our strength, when our resources seem depleted, and when we feel utterly unqualified for the challenges before us, it's in these moments that God steps in with His power and grace. In Psalm 37 verses 4-5, we are given a profound promise. Take delight in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. Commit your way to the Lord. Trust in Him, and He will do this. This scripture invites us into a posture of surrender, reminding us that when we delight in the Lord, when we truly commit our ways to Him, He not only fulfills the deepest desires of our hearts, but also orchestrates events in ways that reveal His majesty. He is the God of the impossible, and He takes great joy in turning our moments of weakness into opportunities for His strength to shine through. This is a profound and reassuring truth. No matter how ill-prepared, inadequate, or overwhelmed we may feel, God is always working behind the scenes, piecing together the elements of our lives for good. Romans 8 verse 28 reminds us, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. Even in the moments that feel like setbacks, God is preparing a divine setup, a breakthrough that will far exceed what we could have imagined. So, my dear friends, when life seems to be unraveling and the road ahead looks uncertain, rest in the knowledge that God is working, even when you can't see it. Trust that His surprises are coming, and they will be perfectly timed. As we move forward, let's embrace each day with hearts full of expectation, knowing that the God who created the universe is intimately involved in every detail of our lives. Let's remain open to His leading, even when it takes us down paths we never expected. So often, God's greatest surprises come when we are least prepared for them, when life takes a detour, and we find ourselves walking down roads we never anticipated. But those are the very moments when God's glory is revealed in the most magnificent ways. Isaiah 40 verse 31 offers us a beautiful promise of strength and renewal. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. This is the kind of strength that comes from trusting God, from placing our hope in Him even when circumstances seem insurmountable. If you're still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment on number 3 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. When we trust in God's timing and plans, we allow ourselves to soar, carried by His grace above the storms of life. His surprises, though often wrapped in waiting and patience, are always worth the journey, always worth the moments of uncertainty. There's an old saying that goes, God is rarely early, but He's never late. His surprises arrive at just the right time, filling our lives with wonder and awe at the beauty of His perfect plan. And when those moments come, we will look back and see that every twist, every turn, and every delay was part of His divine design to prepare us for the blessings He had in store. So lift your head, my dear friends. Lift them in hope, joy, and anticipation. The God of surprises is not just watching from afar. He is by your side, actively working to bring about something amazing in your life. You may not see it yet, but trust that the seeds of His goodness and grace are being planted, and they will bloom in ways that will leave you in awe. God's surprises aren't just small gestures. They are life-altering, destiny-shaping moments that remind us of His immense love and power. So get ready. Be excited. Prepare your hearts, for God is about to surprise you in ways that will exceed your wildest dreams. His blessings will leave you speechless, filled with gratitude and wonder at the depth of His care for you. As we draw to a close in this powerful message of faith and expectation, I want to encourage you to hold on to these truths, but not only for yourself. God surprises, His grace, His goodness. They are too great to keep to ourselves. We are called to share this message of hope and joy with those around us. In Mark 16, verse 15, Jesus gives us a clear directive. Go into all the world and preach the gospel to all creation. This isn't just about preaching from a pulpit. It's about living out the message of God's love in our everyday lives. It's about having conversations that uplift and encourage, sending a text message to remind someone they are loved, or offering a simple act of kindness that reflects the heart of God. Each of us is called to be a vessel of God's love, to spread the message of His faithfulness and the life-changing power of His surprises. You never know how a word of encouragement or an act of compassion might be the very thing someone else needs to open their heart to God's plan for their life. So as you go forward today, take what you've heard and let it inspire you to share God's love in every interaction. Let others see the way God is working in your life, the unexpected blessings, the moments of grace, and the surprises that remind us of His constant presence. In the end, the greatest surprise of all is how God uses us in all our imperfections to be the hands and feet of His love in this world. And as we share His goodness with others, we too are blessed in ways we could never have imagined. So rejoice, my friends. Rejoice in the knowledge that the God of the impossible is with you, that His plans for you are greater than you can fathom, and that His surprises are always worth the wait. Be expectant, be hopeful, and be ready, for God's surprises are on the way. As we come to the end of this powerful message, I'd love to hear from you. What stood out to you the most? What have you learned about trusting in God's surprises, His perfect timing, and His incredible plans for your life? Take a moment to reflect on one thing you've learned from this message and share it in the comments below. What will you take with you and apply to your life moving forward? Your testimony and insights could inspire someone else who needs to hear this truth. And if you enjoyed this video, please leave your comment below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss out on future content. Thank you for being part of this journey with us. And may God continue to surprise you with His goodness and grace.